After discussing the surface area and how to find the surface area of different three-dimensional figures, whether they were prisms or pyramids, today we will be explaining how to find the volume of a three-dimensional figure. But in today's lesson, we will only focus on finding the volume of a rectangular prism or a triangular prism. Let's take the following example. The question would be, find the volume of the given three-dimensional figure. To find the volume of the three-dimensional figure, you have to follow 5 steps. Step number 1 is writing the name of the three-dimensional figure. This is known as a rectangular prism. Why is it a rectangular prism? Because the base is a rectangle. Step number 2 is identifying the shape of the base of this figure. Always, to get the shape of the base, look at the name. This is a rectangular prism, then the shape of the base is a rectangle. So your base is a rectangle. The base in this figure is the following rectangle that has dimensions 10 and 8. Now we can go to step number 3, which is finding the area of this base, which is the rectangle. Now we have to make an agreement from now. When we say the area of the base, we're gonna give it the symbol B capital or uppercase B. Since the base is a rectangle, so the area is length times width. The length is 10 centimeters and the width is 8 centimeters. So the area of the base is equal to 80. We don't forget the units, centimeters to the power of 2. I need you, when you get the area of the base, to put it in a box with a different color, because this value is going to be used later on. Step number 4 now is finding the height. The height of the whole figure, of the whole rectangular prism. Your height here is 12 centimeters. The height gives the length of the figure, how long the figure is. So our height here is 12 centimeters. As well, I need you to use a different color to specify this value, because we're going to use it later. Finally, our final step, step number 5, is finding the volume. The volume V, uppercase V, of any three-dimensional shape is the area of the base, symbolized by uppercase B, multiplied by the height of the whole figure. So here, the volume is equal to 80 centimeters to the power of 2 multiplied by the height, which is 12 centimeters. Then the volume of the whole figure is 80 multiplied by 12 centimeters, and that's a 960. We don't forget that a volume should have a unit. The unit of a volume is centimeters, or whatever the unit that is used, to the power of 3. Let's take another example. The three-dimensional figure given here is a triangular prism. So step number 1 is identifying the three-dimensional figure, which is a triangular prism. Step number 2 is finding what is the shape, or asking yourself, what's the shape of my base? The shape of your base, always get it from the name. The name is a triangular prism, so the shape of your base is a triangle. The shape of your base is a triangle. As you can see here, I'm highlighting the base in this figure. This is the base, this is the triangle. The triangle that has a base of 19 and a height of 14. Step number 3, finding the area of the shape of my base. So the area, we agreed we write it as uppercase B. Because it's a triangle, so it's half base, which is 19 times 14. So the area of my base shape is 133 centimeters to the power of 2. Step number 4. Remember to highlight this value because we are going to use it later. Step number 4 is identifying the height of the whole figure. How long is the figure, or how high is the figure? So the height, h, is equal to 51 centimeters. Step number 5, again, don't forget to highlight this value because we will use it to move to step number 5, which is finding the volume. The volume of all three-dimensional figures is the area of the base, capital B, multiplied by the height of the whole figure. So it is 133 centimeters to the power of 2 multiplied by 51 centimeter. So the volume of the whole figure is 6,783, we don't forget the unit, centimeter to the power of 3. Remember, the volume of any three-dimensional figure, V uppercase, is equal to uppercase B, which symbolizes the area of the shape of your base, multiplied by the height of the whole figure. Keep in mind that a volume means how much space is inside the solid figure or the three-dimensional figure. Let's take another example. We have a three-dimensional figure. So step number 1, what is it? It's a triangular prism. Why? Because the base is a triangle. So triangular prism. Now step number 2 is identifying what's the shape of your base. Is a triangle. Step number 3 is finding the area of this base. So capital B is equal to, because it is a triangle, it is half times 8 times 9, which is equal to 36 meters to the power of. We will highlight this value to use it. Step number 4, what's the height of the whole figure? It is 12 meters. Then h is equal to 12 meters. Again, we also highlight this value. Step number 5, finding the volume of the whole figure, or how much space is inside this triangular prism. It's capital B multiplied by h. So it is 36 times 12. The answer will be 432 meter to the power of 3. Another example to find its volume. So the volume is equal to capital B multiplied by h. Let's start with our steps. Step number 1. This is a rectangular prism. Now, the shape of the base, which is step number 2, it's a rectangle. Step number 3 is finding the area of this rectangle, the rectangle which is at the bottom of dimensions 9 and 7. It is length times width, which is 9 times 7, and that's a 63 yards to the power of 2. Let's highlight this value. Step number 4 is finding the height h of the whole three-dimensional figure, which is 5 yards. Again, we highlight this value. This takes us to the last step, the volume. As we said, we need B times H. So it is equal to 63 times H, 5. The answer will be 315. We don't forget the unit, yards, to the power of 3.